Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. My name is Caroline Feller. I am the digital platforms manager here at Civic Theater. And today we have a very, very fun pop-up class for you. For our Wednesday pop-up class, we are going to have some audition advice with the one, the only, Mr. Brent Marty and Miss Holly Stoltz. So, without further ado, I am going to go ahead and bring them up. And I'm going to bring Mr. Marty up first. All right, Mr. Marty, I'm going to unmute you and ask you to start your video.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Mr. Marty.
It's really the only, right?
Yes, the only. You are correct. You are very
Yes.
correct.
Well, thank you, Caroline.
Of
I'm
course.
actually back in our rehearsal hall here at Civic today because we are able to get out and about a little bit more this week. So I thought I'd come here today to talk about how to audition with a song for a musical.
Yes.
And Lord knows I've seen it all.
Oh, man. I cannot even imagine.
From the best of the best to the, well, we won't say. And so we're just kind of going to go through, and we're not going to talk a lot about how to choose a song because that's sort of a whole nother thing. And we're going to keep this, pop-ups are only about 20 minutes. So choosing a song, that's a whole nother thing. And I always recommend to people, do something prepare, because you will be nervous and you will forget things if you're not prepared. And you want to find the song that shows you off best and is the best song for the role you are auditioning for.
Yes.
In the show. It doesn't have to be a song from the show. I don't mind if it's a song from the show usually, especially in our situation. But you want to find something in the right style, something that has the right range. It's not too high for you, too low for you, etc. So the right range for the role. If it's a tenor role, you better be able to show off your tenor range, for example. But I think we have someone with us here that's going to audition for us today, actually. So,
yes, I believe we do as well.
Miss McGillicuddy? I just named it.
All right, I'm going to ask you to start your video. Oh, and there she is.
Oh, there she was. Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Holly. I'm going to audition today.
Okay. And what will you be? I need to hear your name, your number, and what you'll be singing.
Can I take this off, or should I leave it on?
Oh,
this. Can I?
Please, you. As long as you're going to be step back. There we go.
My name is Holly, and I'm auditioning for the role of Eulalie McKechnie Shin in The Music Man, and I'm going to be singing "Part of Your World" from Walt Disney's The Little Mermaid.
Whoa. Okay. Well, there's our first problem. All right, let's address it. So if you're auditioning for a role like Eulalie McKechnie Shin in The Music Man, which is typically played by a woman of a certain age, and you want to audition, you probably don't want to sing a song that was written for like a teenage girl to sing. So that's our first no-no of the day. Choosing the song that is right for the role. I said of a certain age, dear.
Okay.
All right. So.
Well, all right. Well, here's my music, but can I look at the words because I haven't memorized it. I do have a track. I could do it with a track, or what I really would prefer is that I would just sing it a cappella.
Okay, so there's our second and third problem, really. Generally, we want to hear you sing with live accompaniment. So here at Civic, we'll always have a live accompanist for you to sing your song with, which means you need to have the sheet music, which it looks like you have. But if you needed to read the words, that means the accompanist can't see it. So you're going to need to give that music to the accompanist and be better prepared next time. Now, do you think that you might be able to sing it without the sheet music?
Yeah, I've watched the movie like 500 times. So.
Okay, well, the other thing is the track. We just want to use a live accompaniment, not a track. Okay. So why don't you bring
backup singer? I have like backup singers and choreography and everything.
That's not what we need to hear. So
okay.
If you want to bring your music over to the piano, that'd be great.
All right, I'll put my mask back on.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Here you go.
Thank you. Okay. Here's our second problem, Miss Holly. This music is loose leaf, okay? Which means it's just floating out there on its own. And
right.
So if I go to put this music up on my music stand on the piano, and it looks like it might be okay to stand here, but what if the air conditioning suddenly comes on and it blows the music off the piano like that? I have two hands. They both need to be playing the piano and not trying to wrestle with your music, especially this is two-sided. So you're asking me to have this loose leaf sheet of paper, which I might have to bend to actually get it to stand up.
Those people on the balconies in Italy use clips.
That's not our situation.
Okay.
So I'm not sure why you mentioned it. So, but then I have to turn this music, and again, it's another chance for the music to go flying off the piano. So bad news,
I understand. I apologize. I'm sorry.
So it's all right. It's all right. That's why we're here. So when you come to an audition, you want to have your music in a binder. All right. So that way, it is in the binder. It's hole punched. Pages are easy to turn. And in this instance, what I really recommend is sheet protectors. Can you see these are like glossy sheet protectors?
Yeah.
Okay? So that holds your music in place. I can put it up here. I can easily and quickly turn a page, which I am used to. You know, books have 2 pages normally. So we're used to that. So a binder. The other option would be if you don't have any page turns in your music, you can put it on a manila folder. Staple the music to a manila folder, and then that will also sit up on the piano quite nicely. Okay, and then you can actually have like files of your audition music.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay. So now I have the binder with your music in it. All right. And the first thing I need to know from you is where are we going to start?
Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. Get it? I want to start right at the top. The very top.
Okay.
That's where the song starts.
Couple of problems with that. The first one is this song has 4 measures of introduction, like this. And then the song starts. So you've already wasted a little bit of time with 4 measures of introduction, okay? You could probably cut that down to 2 and still know when to come in, right? Because they're the same. The bars are 2 repeated measures. The second problem is with this particular song, and I use this song as an example a lot. The whole first part of this song is basically the same 4 or 5 notes over and over again. Would you agree with that, Holly?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I just really like it, but you're right.
I know. So sometimes what we like and what we need to do are not the same thing. So if we're going, look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? And then that just repeats. Look at this trove, treasures, it's the same notes over and over. You're not showing me what your voice can do. You're showing me you can match pitch, and you're showing me you can understand rhythm.
Somewhere else in the song, I don't have to start at the top?
That's right. I would recommend. Generally, when you're looking for the part of the song to sing, you want to either use, I'm sorry, I'm having a phone call here. They're terrible timing. You either want to use, first of all, don't have your phone in an audition and don't have it on for phone calls. That would be another thing. Okay. But you generally want to choose the part of the song that has the climax note or the climax part of the song. Sometimes it's in the middle of the song, but most of the time it's at the end or toward the end. So if you think about this particular song, where does it climax? It comes to the point of when's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore that shore up above? Big climactic moment, right? So that is probably, you probably want to include that part. So if you're being asked in an audition to sing 16 measures, which is a pretty general metric that auditions use, 16 measures of a song, which times out to be about a minute. Okay. So you're going to go and count your 16 measures. Does that mean exactly 16 measures, Miss Holly?
I don't know. Does it? Okay.
Probably not. Sometimes yes, because we count music in fours, in pieces of four. So 4, 8, 16, 32. So sometimes it times out exactly, but if you want to include a little introduction, or if there's a little bit of the song after the climax that you want to use, it's just sort of a suggestion. If you do 20 bars instead of 16, nobody's going to like hold up a stopwatch and say, stop. I'm not saying they're counting your measures, okay? So you're looking at your music there. I would suggest starting at what we call the bridge of the song, which leads us to that climax. Now, that gives us a few more than 16 measures, but not too many more, okay? So again, the bridge of the song, which in this instance is, what would I give if I could live out of these waters? That whole section also gives you a nice emotional moment when she talks about, betcha on land, they understand, but they don't reprimand. This is a good emotional moment for the actor. So it's a good part, and then it leads us right to that climax, okay? So I would say start at the bridge.
Okay. That does make sense. And then when would I end it all the way to the very end of the song?
Well, that's another thing you have to let me, the accompanist, know. Okay, so when you come up to talk to me, which you should always do in a musical audition before you even say your name, you're going to be coming in according to your number. You'll go right to the accompanist with your music, and you'll say to them, I'm going to start here. And in your music, you'll want to have that marked. Can we see that, everybody? I just put a little line there at the measure I want to start, and I wrote start. Pretty simple, right? And then I've marked a couple of other things. This song has what we call a rallentando, which means to slow down. So I've marked that with a highlighter so that the accompanist can easily see that it's happening and coming, but I also want to tell them that it's going to come there and happen, okay? So we have the rallentando, and then on the next page, a tempo, so that the accompanist knows, oh, we go back to the original tempo there. And then there's another moment of sort of ambiguity here where there's what we call a caesura or a railroad track. So the music stops and it says slowly and freely. You would want to tell your accompanist, I'm going to stop here, and then I would like you to follow me for the rest of the piece. And then on the next page, I've marked my end. So we know exactly where to start, exactly where to end, and where all the little traps that might happen in the music are going to come. And you've told me, and I'm a good accompanist, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay? So now we're ready, start and end. What else do you think we need to talk about?
Well,
would you like to sing a little bit of the song, or would you?
I've watched you many times, Mr. Marty, ask someone what tempo they would like to
because they didn't tell me, right? So think about this.
They didn't tell you, or you want to know, because sometimes people want to sing it a little quicker, and they get very confused when you ask that.
Right.
Of how to tell you and explain.
We understand what tempo is. It means how the rate of speed of the song, how fast, how slow. So if I don't know how you'd perform the song, and you just assume that I will take my tempo, well, those tempos may not match. There's a couple of different ways that can happen. It could be that I'm used to one recording and you're used to another, and so that's how they could differentiate. Or maybe you're doing the song a little bit differently. Maybe you're going to jazz it up. Maybe you're going to do a little ready to know what the people know and ask questions and get some answers. Maybe you're going to jazz it up, which is great. You know, sometimes it's fun to take a song and do something different with it in an audition. That makes us remember you, certainly. But if you're going to do that and I don't know it, then I'm just going to play it like it's sort of written and how I think I sort of know it. And there are some songs, believe it or not, that I don't know. So you always have to let us know as the accompanist what your tempo is. And the easiest way to do that is to sing a little bit of it and to tap your leg. So Ms. Holly, can you demonstrate how you might do that?
So I would say, I want to know where the people go.
See, so now I know exactly how you want to do it, and it took 2 seconds. So that is the easiest way to do it. Sing a little bit of the song, not loud like you're in the audition mode, because the people at the table don't need to hear that, but just to me, and tap your leg. And then it's done. It's 2 seconds. I know exactly what you're going to do. So now I know where you're going to start, where you're going to have some pauses or starts or slowdowns in the middle of the song, where you're going to end, and how quickly you're going to do the song. That is all I need to know. And I'm good to go.
That's great.
And
That
I had
was very helpful.
your music all in a binder. Nothing's going to go flying off piano, and it's good. So now the final thing that you might get asked in an audition is, do you have a second?
Oh, do you standing or sitting?
Standing.
That's good, because I haven't really warmed up and stretched. So, sure.
No. Okay. Not a second position, a second song. Now, that's a little joke.
Good thing I didn't sit on the floor and do a big stretch.
Miss Holly and I know someone who actually did that in audition. She didn't know what they were talking about. Bless her. What I'm talking about is a second song. You should always have a backup song or a different song that's a little different. Maybe it's a higher song, a lower song, a faster song, a slower song than what you're auditioning with, because we may think and see you and go, oh, you might be better, instead of Ukulele McKechnie Shin, you might be better for, I don't know, Harold Hill. So, so you better have something that's a little different from what you've done in case we need to hear something different. So that's one. That's the job. That's a job of an actor. If you're going to be auditioning for musicals, you need to have a book that has a few different selections in it, so you are ready to go when they ask.
And also, when you slate yourself in a normal situation, you would not say what role you were auditioning for. I did that because we wanted to really point out how ridiculous it would be to sing Part of Your World, not only for the Music Man, because they're very different, but the character. So normally you would just slate your name, your number, and what you were going to be singing. Let them decide what role you are good for. Also, this is going a little bit more, maybe if we do this again sometime, but as a person who feels more comfortable moving and singing, and standing and singing can be very uncomfortable for some people, do not add choreography. Save the choreography and the movement for the choreography audition. Stand and sing. Let the words tell the story. Show them what an actor you are and how you sell it. A few hand gestures or changing your position, that's different, but you're not going to do actual moves and move around the room. You're going to stay in place and just tell the story. Dance later. All right.
It becomes that's good. It becomes very distracting. What is the most expressive part of your body, everybody? It's your face. And even more specifically, it's your eyes. So that's where we're looking. And if you start doing jazz squares and step ball changes, it's very distracting. It takes away from what you're trying to do. I see a lot of kids do that because they might have learned the song at school and they had a little movement with it. It's just not necessary. Strip that all away, perform the song, tell the story in that little minute, that little 16 measures you have. You should be able to tell a good little story with a little bit of a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that gives the best audition. In addition to showing off your high note, your low note, whatever you're going to show off. Right. Those are the elements we look for. And you've got to be able to talk to your accompanist so that they help you instead of hinder you.
Correct.
One of the other things that really, going back to the tempo issue, I forgot to mention this, something that's really a little annoying and can be kind of rude is if you didn't talk to me about your tempo and you stand over there and start slapping your leg because I'm not following your tempo because you didn't tell me, or you changed it because you were nervous when you told me and you didn't take a deep breath and really tell me what your tempo is, that's another sign to the people behind the table that you might not know exactly what you're doing. So be sure to be clear and succinct when you talk to your accompanist.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Marty.
My pleasure.
Did I get
Miss
the
Caroline?
part?
Yeah,
Should I go get my mermaid tail on?
Don't call us, we'll call you. Caroline, do we have any questions or comments from the chat at all? Or
We do
wondering?
not currently.
Okay.
So just I thank you everyone for sticking with us. I've been over here furiously trying to get the Wi-Fi and the Ethernet and all my hotspots to work better. So it's a little choppy, but we are recording this, and so the recording itself is not choppy. So it's the streaming to Facebook that's given us some issues. So
yeah, we're back.
So if you're watching us live, you can come back in and watch the recording.
yes, and the recording is just fine. Yes, just very, very soon.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
The recording will be up immediately, right, Miss Caroline?
Yes, it will.
Okay. All right.
All righty.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe. Social distance.
Bye.